Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I have another Marine ECM, this time working in an 8.1 liters Mephi 4 Volvo Penta coming from Utah, I think. Randy Mac, this is the third time this computer is here. The first time that he sent the computer, it was because he said that he had some issues with injectors after 3600 RPMs, which I was never able to reproduce. So I sent him the computer back and I said, sorry, Randy, but I cannot reproduce your problems here. So either it's something that it needs something that I don't have or isn't a boat only, or the problem is not here. But that's all I did. During the period after I sent his computer back, he did some tests and ended up damaging the computer's internals because he shorted out the computer sensors. And then he sent it for repairs. So now I'm not running computer. And I did a video of the entire process. So I repaired that portion and I explained him, it's like, hey, Randy, I cannot reproduce your concern about the injectors. And I run it again. I put even real injectors. I put sensors, real sensors attached, trying to see if I can mimic what the problem that he described is, which is cutting injectors completely. As far as he said, it's like after 3600 RPMs, it just goes to zero. I'm like, I've never seen that in my life. I mean, like never in my entire time repairing computers, Mephi 4s, I have never seen that, never. I have seen, injector firing like a multi-strike. And so if you have seen or not seen this video, I just did one. His name is Luigi, which actually I use Randy's to compare a good running injectors compared to Luigi's. There are multi-strike. And even they're running like that on Luigi's boat, the only concern is an idle. He said that after idle it runs good because these computers are well known for that issue, like not a correct or not correct, like not a clean injector signal. And sometimes it looks like what I call a multi-strike. So it fires injectors a couple of times when it's not supposed to. But in a boat, you barely notice that. Obviously, Luigi and them in their computers or in their boat is as a brand new engine, brand new sensors. They want to keep it make it as good as possible. And indeed, it's really, really bad on their computer. And you can see that, but it runs. And you can please go and watch that video. It's at 8.1 liters. And Randy said that he runs perfectly all the way up to 3600 RPMs. And then in there, zero. I'm like I said, as I never seen anything like that. I said, Randy, to try to help you, I'm going to change the calibration from his original file to another one that I have from a known good, tested good working computer. But then now he said, it's like, Mike, since I got the computer, the RPMs are 1 to 2,000 high on the tachometer, not on the engine itself, but the tachometer reads 1 to 2,000 RPMs higher. I'm like, wow. That is definitely a calibration, which is not. I mean, the calibration is exactly the same per number, and I'm going to prove that in here. I'm going to move the calibration back to his, but before I do anything, I want to show you what I see now. And I'm going to plug Luigi so we can see what the signal coming from the computer is sending out, if it matches or not what it should be. But as I normally do, I have the computer. Oh, sorry about that. I pressed the wrong button. As I do, I have the computer already connected and ready to go. I cannot flip it too much because he put his number in here. Not sure why. But it says Randy Mac, and it has still the date from 9/4, 10/6, and now 11/17. Which is hopefully this is going to be the last time I take this computer because he said that a Marina told them that they plug a computer from the same setup and the bot ran good and all the problems went away. I'm like, what a coincidence that, they have the same computer. I mean, like, what are the odds of that? Secondly, if they did, can you send me the running capture? Oh no, we didn't have any running captures. I'm like, he's been sending me running captures of everything every single time that he has it, except for this time. I'm like, how can I, take or compare? Because I told Randy, what kind of diagnostics is that? All I really hear in here is buy a new computer and get out of here, because you know what the marinas and mechanics do. And with all respect, I'm also a mechanic and a technician. But sometimes when people cannot find a problem, you know what they do? It is the computer, because they know it's $6,000 and the customer is going to be like, I just spent this much repairing this one, so it will go away. Go away. It's not that they repair anything. Prove me that they repaired it, or they can, at least I know, okay, what are we missing? Because I told Randy multiple occasions, in order for a computer to cut the injectors completely, it has to be missing the crankshaft position sensor signal, or the map sensor signal goes ballistic. I mean, because the map, the manifold air pressure, is the one that tells the computer how much injection to fire. So if it's going too wide, it might be just such a long injection time that the computer doesn't know what to do. And all that's all I guesstimates, right? Because I have not seen this computer react that way, not one time. So I said, I need diagnostics. I don't need to send you the computer back and you tell me, they tested and it's bad, the computer, because you know what? I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. I don't go with what somebody says. Give me data. I'm not looking for, I can help you and I can fix this computer. Anything that is necessary, I can fix it. But I need to understand what is happening in the boat. I need to, okay, we're missing, when that happens, we're missing the crankshaft position sensor signal. And we put another computer, and the same crankshaft position sensor signal is present. So it's a missing on the computer. We put an oscilloscope at the crank sensor signal. The signal is clean all the way up to the computer, but the computer doesn't read it. Now I can do something. You see what I mean? But we just, we unplug that computer and we plug another one and it's working perfectly. Sure. Yeah, that is something I will take for granted. You know what I mean? No. So definitely not. And this is the reason I'm also wanting to do this video. Let me take you over to the notes that he's put, on his computer. As you see, I have already created a file. This was, right now it's 4:36 p.m. If you see right here, I connected this computer at 12:16 p.m. today. And I use it for another test because I wanted to see if I find something. If I go scroll down, we can see here, no fault codes, absolutely zero fault codes. I got the entire list of all the data because this computer can give you a lot of data. A lot of them is not really necessary, but a lot is good. I want to show you here the hours that this module now has is 679. Let me make that a little bigger. That blue spot in there, 679.6. And the calibration checksum is 1FF7. I'm going to close this one. I'm going to go back. Let me just show you here at idle. So you can see in here the same calibration right at where I'm moving that little square box. You see right there, 1FF7. And then the hours are, let me see, what are they? Right here, 679.7. This is an idle, both injector drivers firing, and the tachometer signal, 8.5 volts. And it's actually what it's supposed to be reading. So I don't know exactly what the problem might be in the boat, harness or something. I'm not sure if it's a pin when they're removing and installing the other one. I mean, all I do is guesstimate because I don't have any data from them. Oh yeah, we plug another one and plug it back in and it works good. I'm like, yeah, well, Randy, I'm not here to correct the approach you guys are trying to do. But if you cannot help me find out what the problem is that you are trying to correct, I cannot fix your computer. I cannot be on a crystal, on a crystal ball to try to see if I can imagine or go in the past and find out what is happening. I need data. I need to see what it is. I can try to test and reproduce this, concerning here, but if it doesn't happen, what am I going to correct? This is what you don't understand. Maybe they don't understand either. So I'm going to go back in time to the second visit. I want to show you the history. This was October 10. As you see, I save all the information for all the customers that I work on. Let me just show you the calibration checksum. Let me see where that is, because sometimes it moves it to a different spot. Right here. 1FF7. And look at the hours. 479.9. 479.9. That was his original calibration. So I did recalibrate the computer, trying to help him to see if it was something that I cannot see here, and the calibration might correct it, but it didn't. And now he's saying that the tachometer is reading 1 to 2,000 RPM difference. I'm like, wow, that's very odd. That is for me something either on the crankshaft position sensor signal, on the distributor that is shorting out, something else. But again, if I'm not the technician working in the boat and I cannot see that all I'm doing is giving you ideas, but I don't know exactly what could be. I want you to see all these faults in here that you see, like, well, the throttle position sensor is skewed high. This was how that computer came. It was shorted and the throttle position sensor didn't move. No matter what I did here, it didn't move. It was something that damaged the calibration. And this is something I don't know now, what the computer might have took a hit. As far as the calibration is, that's what I removed it and put a new calibration on it. And all these other ESTs disconnected are because at that test, I was only using one of them or two. And then now I have all 8 connected. So it's not going to be any like, what do you have those faults or not? So reading, again, going on to the third visit. I don't know if I show you here. This is the computer with all the part numbers. This is a 12569494. And all the rest are the unique numbers. Again, Randy Mag. And you can see right here, RPM is 1 to 2000 high on tachometer after initial repairs. RPM is correct on Diacom warranty work, which I said, if it's something I can correct, I will definitely do. And I said, I don't know why he put this warranty work, because I tell it's like, I need to test the computer. Is this something that you burned and now it's my problem because you paid a repair? Paying a repair doesn't mean that that you own me or I own this computer and whatever happened is going to be my problem. No, it's not like that. Definitely not. So all I can do is check, and if it's a damage created, like a burn component or something, I'm sorry, but if it's repairable, I might help you, but it's not like a forced situation. All right, so let's go back to here. I'm going to put the picoscope in the Diacom. Do I have it closed? Oh, yeah, I restarted the computer. So sorry, guys. I need to restart my computer. I mean, my picoscope and the Diacom to put them into your view. I had to restart the computer. It wasn't connected to the internet. Sometimes I get that in this computer. Not sure why. It's a brand new computer from Alienware. The best of the best. All right, so everything is set up as I have it before, so perfectly. Channel A and B are the injectors, and channel C is the signal that will come from the tachometer or from the computer to the tachometer. I have the maximum voltage in there, and then also the frequency. If you go back to the other one, which I'm going to connect the other computer quickly, just so we can see that, we can see the amplitude of that signal on the C channel, and also the frequency compared to another 8.1 liters. So, which is the same setup. It's a name mark. This is a Volvo Penta, but the tachometers are connected into the same exact signal, and we will see that. All right, so I got everything here. Maybe the frequency is too high. I gotta go, I think it's 400 to be in 650 RPMs. Yeah, around there. Come on. This knob is too sensitive. Gotta wait for it. All right, so we got everything in the screen. Let's power up the computer. You can see the fuel pump connection. We can immediately see voltage. Look at that, the voltage on the channel C, the first or the third on the first row, the last one. We're already in the correct voltage, 8.6 volts. So that is correct. But let's see the frequency. I have to connect the Diacom so we can read the information. So let's select the computer. MEFI 124, that is correct. Mode 1. And then we connect in here. I'm going to show you again the calibration 1FF7. That is the same calibration always, so it's the correct calibration for him. But we're still working with the calibration with 679.9 hours. So this is not, I'm not going to change that yet. But I might do is stop the video, put the calibration, and see if it works the same. It's nothing I can do, right? All right, so let's run it. All right, and there you can see injectors in bank A and bank B, and then the hertz on the last reading on the green channel at 44 hertz, 43.6, 44 hertz. That is exactly what this computer should read. I have that compared to multiple of my recordings, And at 650 RPMs, that is the correct signal that should come out of that computer for the tachometer to read 650 RPMs. And we can see right now I have 407. I got around 660 RPMs. Let me just put the RPMs in here. And we can see, 43.6, 44. So it goes up and down. And just because my crank sensor signal is not exactly as in the boat, let's say, but the frequency that is specific to what I have here. So if I connect another computer, which I'm going to do right away right now. So let's capture that into your brain about channel, the green channel being on 8.5 volts. Let me just make sure I can read that with you guys in here. So we got 8.5 volts and 44. We can call 44 hertz on that signal. And that is exactly what the computer is sending out onto the RPM. I'm going to unplug my channel from that RPM signal so you can see that is indeed reading real-time signal. That is coming from the computer. That's my daughter from Costa Rica, so I had to take that call for sure. This light is a little bit on the weight of that camera, right? I didn't see that, but that's fine. Maybe that was messing with the focus into that camera. Let me move that a little bit. And now you can see that very nice and clear here. All right, so like I said, let's keep a memory picture of that frequency of 44 hertz and 8.5 volts with 660 RPMs. So we should like to be 1,000 or 2,000 RPMs higher on the tachometer as C claim is in the boat, and I believe it. I mean, I don't disbelieve that. But if the problem is in here, that it will be here. Otherwise, the problem is in the boat. So this is the RPM signal, and I'm going to, just before I go, let me just show you where I am connected. So this is very important because we have now discussed that connection for the tachometer. So let me just, give me 1 second to find that one out. I'm going to show you a wire diagram. Picoscope, and let me move you here. I'm going to move my circle out so you can see that better. But I want you to see this is for the 8.1 liters. So we have 8 coils and then 8 injectors. Yeah, you can see on the top of this 6.0 and 8.1, same thing. What I want you to see is tachometer driver right here on the left corner where I'm moving that mouse is right there, right? See, J114. That is exactly the tachometer signal. J114, that is the one that goes over for the tachometer. Unless you have a different setup on the boat, which I'm not sure because I'm not basing my testing on what they have. I base the test on all the signals. So if they have an aftermarket tachometer or something else connected in there that I'm not aware of, it might be different because something changed. I don't know. But I'm based on original. And I can tell you that tachometer signal, which I'm going to remove 1 second from here. So let me put the picoscope here. So you get that to see that my tachometer signal will disappear momentarily. You see the green signal is gone. And I want to show you, I'm going to get a zoom in here. So you get to see that ping number. I covered that. Let me move that computer because it has his phone number. And I don't want to share that. Let me get a little closer. So am I connected on the J114? I am connected in J114 because I don't want to leave anything hanging. I want to close this chapter with, a problem that is not my problem. I cannot keep going on this testing and things that if you have a problem on the boat and it cannot be solved and it become my problem, it's not like that. So give me 1 second to move that light. It's still in my way. Yeah, that looks a lot better. All right, so we got that. I'm going to put the diagram back in here. So we're still with Randy's connected. I'm going to turn this computer off. Ignition, everything is out. And I'm going to put that like this so you can see that sticker in there. That's Randy's. And I'm going to connect this other computer. Just very quickly here, you can see that. Okay, for fuel pump comes on. Let me put that. Why is it showing there? I'm not responding. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to reconnect. Since it's already in the MFE4, it will let me reconnect. Well, kind of. Yeah, I detected. Perfect. Mode 1, and we're going to connect. All right, so I'm going to show you that this is a different calibration. B999E is an E mark, but it is also an 8.1 liter displacement engine. So the tachometer and all the connections are exactly the same. You have seen me. I didn't change anything. I just plugged the computer and it will run exactly the same way. This is exactly the same setup. The only difference that these two calibration has are cam retard, and that this computer does not use a manifold air temperature on that connection. So you see it's now reading minus 40 degrees on manifold air temperature. This calibration doesn't use a manifold air temperature. So that's the only difference. And this computer has very low hours, 111 hours compared to the other one, but that's not the issue. So let's run it. So I didn't change anything. I'm going to put the RPMs on the screen. So we have 660 RPMs. Now let's go over to the values on my oscilloscope. 8.5 volts and 44 hertz. So is this signal going to 1 to 2000 RPMs higher? No. And this is where I can prove. I'm not just saying it because I want to get rid of a customer. No, I am proving you, Randy, that I don't see that here. So my calibration, my readings are exactly the same. So I'm going to go up now to a 4,000 RPM. This computer doesn't run that well as far as injectors, so disregard those signals. But I'm going to go over to 4,000 because he cannot even reach that RPM as far as he said. All right, I'm going to change the throttle, which it doesn't really matter, but just to get close, let me just, because I cannot see it from this distance. Okay, now I can see it. We have, where is the throttle in here now? Throttle position. Oh yeah, 59. I went too much. The manifold pressure, I'm going to leave it as is. So we have 4.5. So the only thing that I'm going to change, and I'm going to leave it to connect Randy's, is the RPM. So we got 3,940. The hertz, and this is very important. I'm going to write that down here. So this is, so we can compare that in here. So the voltage is staying at 8.5 volts. And this is the Tach signal. And the hertz is now 262.3 for 3,940 to 47, right? So plus or minus 7. Actually, it's plus because it doesn't go less. So it's plus 7 because sometimes it's in 40, sometimes it's in 7, right? But that's it. All right, so I'm going to turn this crankshaft position sensor off, and I'm going to turn this computer off completely without touching anything, right? Because we're going to connect Randy's again. I don't need to do anything I will establish communication once I connect Randy's. So I'm going to connect Randy again here. I'm going to turn the ignition on, but not the cam sensor or crank sensor signal, so it's not going to run at that high RPM yet. Let me reconnect, which is what I really want to do. I'm going to prove now that we're in Randy again. 1F7. And then 680 hours. Now let's put the RPMs on the screen and we're ready to go, right? And it's running at 340, 347. What is the hertz on the tachometer signal? 262.6.4. In the order computer, it was 262.3. 262.3. So we are exactly with the same hertz, with the same amplitude. So whatever problem that you are having, Randy, is still in the boat. I'm sorry, but I cannot reproduce without data. And this is where I want to keep stressing this much. Without data, without the correct time or the correct data to help you, all I'm doing here is wasting my time. And this is the last time that I'm going to help you for free. This is already probably 3 hours on this computer testing, connecting, and trying to reproduce, connecting another computer, connecting it back to see what I can find, because you cannot give me information. I can help you, and I'm always eager to help people. But if you cannot give me information, I'm not sure. I'm blindly working and trying to find a needle in a haystack. And I'm not here for that. I am here to help you. I'm not a hero, because you know what happened with heroes? They die in action, and I'm nobody's hero. All right, guys, I'm sorry if it sometimes is a little too much, but I need to show this customer SRC's injectors firing over 3,600 RPMs. Of course there are. And if you go over to the second visit, which I'm going to put that in this video, it is doing it. One thing that I forgot to do is I'm going to have to stop it, and I'm going to move his calibration back into here and see if we have any difference. I have the notes already, so let me go back to idle. And the reason I'm saying it shouldn't change anything realistically is because we are comparing two computers, completely different computers, and the hertz and the voltage is matching. So I'm going to change now the throttle to the idle position, which should be 7 to 10%. That is there. And I'm going to power this computer off. I'm going to reinstall Randy's calibration with the 470 hours and then retest. Sorry, guys. It's already 27 minutes. Wow. I'll be right back. All right, guys. I transferred the calibration again to this original module. So let's remove you here. This is so you can see that this is indeed still his computer. Let me get to the DICOM, which I'm not sure why it's not there. Now it is. All right, so let's reconnect. I need to turn the computer on. All right, we got the fuel pump on. Let's connect to DICOM. Yes, you're seeing that. So let's just reconnect. I'm going to show you that we have indeed one FF. Well, I'm not showing something weird. Okay, now it is one FF7. But let's look at the hours now. 480.4 hours. Let me make sure that we can now move the throttle position sensor back and forth. Yeah, it is reading good. All right, so all is normal. We have 9 fault codes in here. Those are the old fault codes that the calibration had. I'm going to erase those. And we can see that now there is absolutely no fault codes in here. That's just the history of whatever it was when I saved that calibration. I'm going to put the RPM in the view, and we're going to run the computer once again. Everything should be the same. So let's run it. All right, the computer is now running, and look at the values. All right, so I saved the note in here at 650 RPMs, which is exactly what we have, 652, which is have 43.6 hertz. We got 43.4, 4.37. So it is exactly the same exact frequency in the same exact voltage, 8.5 volts. So I'm going to increase it right now to 3,940 to see if we get the 262.3 hertz. So again, let's 3,940. Too much. I change the throttle around 30%. I'm a little higher. You gotta go to 40. This knob is so hard to pick exactly the same amount. We were almost there, so I'm trying to get the 3,940. It is just so difficult to match exactly. So I'm gonna keep it in there. We had 263.5, 262.3. So it's because we got 20 RPMs higher. Trying to get this knob to read. It's like I'm not changing that much, but this knob is so hard to adjust. See, right now it's in 30, 32, and we have 261 point, but we can see, I mean, 261 at 3,930, so not 40, and we're 1 hertz out of like what we had before. Again, this is the notes in here, so if you want to see that, so was there any issues with the calibration of the computer? Absolutely no. The issue is still in the boat, like I said, but I'm going to put it back as it was with his original calibration and send this back to Randy. That is all I'm going to do. I'm sorry, Randy, but I cannot help you no more. I still consider that your problem is in the boat. I don't know what that marina told you or what they did, but I am proving with data, with real facts, that is not the case. So if you have a tachometer that is reading abnormal, it's because you have a problem in the boat, no doubt about it. So, and the problem has not been correct. All I tell you about connecting another computer and running good, I would like to know what calibration, what the computer, get the data, because what if we're using, or you have an incorrect calibration or incorrect computer installing your boat? That I don't know. I'm working with this computer. That's all I know. But this computer should work perfectly. It's no issues. I can go even higher than 4,000 RPMs right there. 4,500, I went over too much, and that's why I cut the injectors. But we can see 4,400, it is still there, and that is because I didn't change the map and order value that should be there. But I'm passing the 3,600 RPMs. If I go over to a maximum RPM, it will like cut injectors because we're going beyond the point. But you see 4,600, 4,700 is still there. So that is not an issue. Again, guys, I'm sorry if I'm taking the time to prove that the problem is not here. I don't know what else to do. I need data from you, Randy, as I repeatedly say it on this video. Thank you so much for you guys. If you're watching this video and you're following the channel, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.